We look very broadly at working across many different agencies, but I'd say one thing that I would point to, we have a municipality expansion project to connect the municipalities in the state to our network. So in the last year, we've added over 40% of the states or the cities and towns in our state of Connecticut to our network. That allows them to do things like sharing document management capabilities, sharing criminal justice information, becoming more resilient in the sharing of their information systems. So we're reducing waste and duplication in the effort and better utilizing the assets that we have. I think that's one of the areas we're proud of. A great example of that is last year we completed our data center migration process where we moved from a leased facility to a more modern facility. During that process, we consolidated all of our IT operations, but also developed technology patterns. So if an agency fits into a pattern, we can create a development, testing, production environment almost immediately with very low overhead in doing so. If they don't fit our pattern, it takes a little while longer to get through the rest of that, but it's allowed us to bring agencies who are not currently in that infrastructure in very rapidly. And with our budget shortfalls, that ability to bring agencies into the data center the demand for that has continued to grow. At the technician level, we seem to be fine. I think that for us, it's architecture skills and performance, troubleshooting and tuning. It really, from an architecture that's about keeping the needles out of the haystack, and performance tuning is finding them once they do get in there. As the technology gets more and more complex and we're sewing together different capabilities, it becomes much more difficult to do that. I think getting those skills and retaining those skills is very difficult for us to do at the state level. A great example of that is our open data environment. So Governor Malloy passed an executive order to have us focus on making our data more available. We went from having no data strategy at all now to a highly recognized open data portal, and we're taking that further. So we have a centralized capability of bringing data together for research purposes across multiple different agencies, having a standardized MOU that agencies can provide and share their data. And I think that provides very tangible results to citizens, researchers, businesses who want to take advantage of the data that we have in the state. Our networking is sort of second to none, and in many ways, talking about it with others is embarrassing because of the capability that we have. I mean, we are a relatively small geography state, but we have every school district connected to high-speed broadband. As I mentioned, we have municipalities that are now connected to it. We have police, fire. We are adding the state libraries or the local libraries to high-speed broadband. So that capability is really second to none, and it allows us to be able to provide connected services to our citizens in a way that's very different. From a 911 perspective, we are hauling the 911 calls around our state and utilizing the network to be able to do that. So it's a really unique capability, and our citizens get a lot of value out of that. I think for me the greatest growth has been in articulating or understanding the patterns of our business, right? Government's really complex. There's a lot of business that we're in. How to sort of streamline, understand that, articulate that in a way that people can see the commonality between what it is that we're doing. If the first answer we get out of every conversation is, I'm different, I'm unique, it takes some skill and understanding to relate to their business to be able to communicate, well, perhaps there's more similarities than you think. For me, I've developed that skill over the last several years, and I think that's where I've seen the most dramatic growth.